Deep in the heart of the wild tropical jungle, far from roads and people, two men decided to build a shelter for themselves. Not a modern house and not a simple hut, but a real underground hideout carved directly from the earth, using nothing but their own hands. Their goal wasn't just to build a place to rest. They wanted to create a space where they could live, cook, work, and relax, relying entirely on nature. The first steps were the hardest. They spent a long time walking through the forest, choosing the right spot, an area with dense, dry soil, protected from direct sunlight, yet open enough to work comfortably. It was important to find ground that would hold its shape and not collapse when digging. After long searching, they stopped at a small slope covered in thick vegetation. It seemed perfect. The work began with clearing the area. The men removed leaves, branches, stones, and the top layer of soil to create a level surface. Then they moved on to the hardest part, digging. They went deeper and deeper, forming the shape of the future underground room. They worked only with simple wooden and bamboo tools. No machines, no electricity, just pure physical labor and patience. Day by day, the walls became smoother, and the space grew wider. They carried out the dirt in baskets, gradually shaping the future shelter. It took a long time to straighten the walls so they would be stable and strong. They reinforced the corners, packed the soil, and used sticks and stones to keep everything secure. Once the main room was ready, they started designing the interior. In one corner, they carved out a small chamber for storing food and tools. Nearby, they shaped a natural bench that later would serve as a bed. Every detail was made by hand, carefully following the structure of the soil. Then came the most impressive part of the project, building the pool. Below the main room, they began digging a large circular pit. This space would become more than a place to cool down. It would be a true natural pool built entirely from earth. They carefully leveled the bottom, packed the walls, and sculpted them so the water could stay in place without leaking. The work took many days. The heat was intense, the jungle humid, and the sounds of birds, insects, and animals never stopped. But the men continued working, step by step, layer by layer. They lined the pool walls with clay and smoothed everything by hand, creating a natural waterproof coating. When the pool was finally ready, they built a small water channel to fill it with clean water. Slowly, the basin began to fill, turning into a clear mirror reflecting the leaves and sky. Now they had everything: an underground shelter, a space to work, a place to rest, and their own pool, a true oasis in the middle of raw wilderness. As evening approached, and the jungle filled with the warm golden glow of sunset, the men decided to prepare dinner. They gathered dry branches, lit a small fire, and began to cook a simple but hearty meal. The crackle of the flame, the smell of food, and the calm atmosphere of the jungle created a special mood. The dinner was simple: rice, vegetables, and local ingredients. But after such a long day of work, it tasted incredible. They sat together, enjoying the silence. The effort they had put into this place was enormous, but the result was worth every moment. They looked at their shelter, the clean lines of the walls, the carved corners, the shimmering surface of the pool, and knew they had created something unique. After dinner, they decided to end the day by cooling off in the pool. They slowly climbed down, dipped their hands into the cool water, and then submerged themselves completely. All the fatigue, heat, and heaviness of the day disappeared instantly. The water was perfect, refreshing, calm, and crystal clear. Leaves above their heads swayed gently in the breeze, and the pool reflected the soft light of the moon.